about the comic book. So if a guy like this likes what he sees, that's encouraging. Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ERT's Arts. This is Jimmy. Tonight's guest is KP. He is the creator of Stilk and Metal Tim, which will be releasing on 14 November 2018. How you doing this evening, KP?
I'm doing really good. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
Oh man, it's my pleasure, man. Anytime I can help, it's always a good thing. Um, So your book releases. So today you were on the EVS channel promoting. You said you're gonna be able to get John Malin soon. I hope you think.
Yeah, we were talking, and he says we will see if we can do it around maybe like in the next week, hopefully. Yeah. So, and I have tomorrow with another creator an interview, Louis Michael, creator of Chromosome 96. Next week with a few others too. So yeah.
That's awesome. So for those people who may not have heard about your book, can you give us a description or your thought? What your book is about.
Oh yeah, of course. It's a this book is called Stilk and Metal Team. It's a 12 issue series. I would define it as a science fiction superhero thriller, and it will be published from Rising Sun Comics and indie publisher based in Los Angeles. Oh my God, there is someone in the comment section. He greets with a swear word in Greek. Maybe he saw it on Google. Maybe he's Greek. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what he said, but yeah.
He said what how I am doing basically, or we are doing maybe he meant. Yeah. We are good, thank you. So about the story, I had could I read the summary I have written for this?
Say one more time.
Can I read the summary
Oh yeah,
regard
yeah. Knock yourself out. This is your interview, man. You take as long as you wanted to talk about the book.
Yeah, all right, thank you. So the story of the book is this. In the end of the 21st century, the city of New Glory is tormented from a supernatural threat. Stilk, a humanoid, was manifested through an experiment that was secretly conducted by Annabel Darsal along with her colleague Edwin Best. After a few months, another manifestation takes place with a series of monstrous creatures suddenly emerging through Annabel, thus causing her violent death. Now, 1 year later, along with his cyborg partner Tim Beans, aka Metal Team, Stilk is the leading force against the monsters known as nightmares under the leadership of Edwin's father, General Daryl Best. The duo is called to face the monsters that took away Annabelle's life, and now threaten to do the same with the people of their city. At the same time, they both discover the range of their abilities, how to support each other's personal problems, and stay united as they discover the deeper reasons behind their confluence, new allies, unexpected foes, and the possibility of Stilk becoming the primary threat.
Nice.
Yeah, and this series is part actually of an expansive universe I'm doing. So if everything goes well and this series gets complete, six more titles will follow. Will People will be able to read it independently? Yet there are some key elements that connect them all.
All right, nice. And your first book, for those of you might just joined in, your first book drops on 14 November,
Yeah.
and you say it is a series of 12 books, correct?
Yes.
All right. And those can be read independently, or they can be read as a series.
No, no. The series is, each issue of this series finishes ends in a way that you have to grab the next book to see what's going on. I was just talking about the future titles that are connected with this one in a way, you know, because each
Right.
title is part of an expansive universe I'm creating. Yeah,
So it's a 14-book series with a cliffhanger at each episode at the end of each book.
the 12, no, the 12 book is, yeah, 12 issue series.
Okay, 12. I don't know why I keep saying 14. Um, all right, nice. So how's your experiences been, trying to promote your book, getting on sites, and how have you been received in this community? Tell me some of your experiences.
Well, yeah. Well, since our last interview, I think it was back October 12th or so. I have talked to a few other people. I still continue doing that, and I get to know more creators gradually, and both veterans and new emerging ones. Um, I started having lately a little more positive feedback on my work, and as things progress, people can observe, especially in this series, changes in terms of improvement in art, and the storytelling, of course, gets even more exciting uh, till the last book of this series. So, whoever decides to give a chance to this project that started from the very beginning, he will see all these things taking place in front of his eyes. It's a learning experience too. The whole thing, you get feedback, critiques, or other technical or practical information you can use as you grow in your artistic journey.
Nice. So you got a chance to talk to Cautionary Comics, Ben Hennessy. He's
Yes.
like, yeah, he bought one of your, he commissioned something from you, right?
So yeah, I have this Comics Gate tribute artwork I did back in September, and he since then he expressed how much he liked it. Basically, he shared it as well. And after our latest stream, which lasted 25 minutes, he was tired, so it lasted a little, just half an hour basically. But I was grateful. I was with other creators. We were given some time to talk about our projects, and so right after he approached me and said, "Man, I like this. Can I buy this?" I said, "You want a copy?" He said, "Yes." And basically, I sent him a copy of the image, high resolution, as he asked,
Right.
and he paid me through PayPal. And it's like, "Thank you very much. I'm glad to be of service to make stuff that people like." And that gives me the necessary push or the additional boost, and to keep it up. It makes your day.
Yeah, it's very, I was, since the last time we talked, I managed to sell Poison Ivy commission. And that one took me a while to do, but when they received it, they were so happy with it that it just made me happy. All that effort was kind of worth it, and for them to be able to enjoy it, and they're about to. It was an 11 by 14, so they're finding a frame for it. It's kind of a big frame. So, yeah. Do you have that art? Do you want to share that artwork that Mr. B
uh,
Hennessy bought from you, or?
yeah, of course. And people who see this now, or they will see the recorded version of our interview here, they can go check the links in the description. They will see many things there too. Let's see if I can make a search here, a screen share.
Yeah,
Mm.
sure. And by the way, Winston Smith says that since you're Greek, he's in. So I want everybody to know that his book is not on Indiegogo. His book is actually being distributed through Rising Sun Comics. The link is in the description. And so it releases on the 14th of November, which is about 9 days from now. And
Mm-hmm.
there you go. He's screen sharing.
All right.
Welcoming in Linda Wesley. Thank you for joining us. So
Okay.
yeah, the link is in the description if you want to check it out. And it drops through Rising Sun Comics out of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a few images I will share here. This is the logo of the series, Stilk
Yep.
and Metal Team. Wow, what's happening? Mm, mm. So it's a laptop here. Yeah. So let's go. This is the cover of the first book that will come out. Let me know if you can see this, cause you know.
Yeah,
All
we can
right,
see
cool.
it.
This is an ad I made recently according to the guidelines also of my publisher. People like it, the way it looks. So this is the imprint of Rising Sun Comics, Rising Sun Publishing, and from the through this, my book will be published. So this is another ad I made recently. This is Metal Team, and it has the lines a sci-fi thriller, a superhero tale. I make a pun there because he has a metallic tail here.
Right.
hmm And let's see. This is a paid sample of the first book. I want to remind that the artwork of the first book is a little, old, like 4 years plus, but it still bears lots of positive elements like opposition, and you will see the imagination, the passion, lots of hours of work. I do I do everything in this book basically. I do the pencils, the inks, the coloring, I write the plot, and it still has many things to offer, many nice things to show. This is the ink version of the page. Uh, Here is another one. Mhm. And another one. I don't know. Can the show find on the screen?
Yeah, it's I can see it. Maybe if you can maximize it a little bit.
Okay, okay, maybe that's how much I can do it here on the laptop.
Okay, that's fine. If that's what you got, that's good. I can see it on both screens. I can see it on the channel that I'm streaming on and on the Hangouts.
Yeah, and uh, let's see, another one. This is the inversion of that page that I was doing back in 2014, 2015. That's the period of the artwork of the first book. This is from the fourth book I'm working on. So you can see a little more recent artwork here as well. Basically, the biggest part of the second book and the third and the fourth is 2018 artwork. This is, yeah, this is the fourth book snapshot. Yeah, this is from the third one. Another photo snapshot here to see how I do it. This is a panel from the third book. Um, and these are some of the characters here, of the basic characters, like Annabelle Darsal. The blonde guy here is Edwin Best. Metal King is the one with the hat and the metallic tail. Stilk is in the background, and the monsters known as the nightmares. You get an idea, like, of the background of this picture as well. This piece I did back in 2015, by the way, but I think it still looks decent to demonstrate here. Um, this is just a few illustration samples for people to get an idea of the characters. This is I did last month
Hmm.
here. hmm And of course, the link that you gave with my other social media, it leads to my Facebook artwork page. On the Facebook album about my comic, people can see more art and info about this comic book. So yeah, they can click on it and go and see more. Um, and this I did for a recent ad I made. So, and this is some comics kit art I wanted to share.
Yeah,
If
that's
it's a,
oh right. So you got Cyber Frog.
yeah, that Ethan light I did it just to show him. And I like the cyberpunk design, because it reminds me of the old image days. This exaggeration of features, this humanoid elements, the cyborg parts, all of it. Uh, Lots of action, basically. And this is a piece I did for Ethan on his birthday, which he liked a lot. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I
and
remember seeing that on Twitter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's still kind of popular for those who. Many people tell me they remember this. I had fun. The point is to was to add some humor there. So This is the Red Rooster, it's Brett Weiser's character, and this is the drawing, the copy of which Ben Hennessy purchased.
Oh yeah, I remember that one now. Yeah, that was a nice one.
Yeah, I had fun doing it, and I'm preparing a second one with the other characters I didn't put in, so I can put it later next to this one from a bigger picture
Right.
uh, and make a new print out of it. So, you know, um, let's see now. I will try to stop the screen share here. Uh, did I stop it? Yeah.
I can stop it. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. It's done.
All right. Great. Uh, yeah, and so the book, when it will come out, it will be available both as a physical copy, which people will be able to purchase directly from the publisher's page. RazikSunComics.com is the page, and I think there is a specific link for the purchase which I will provide, you know, when I will post about it. But I think some of my ads give this link anyway. So if you go to my social media and see that my ads images, some of them carry this link, but it's not out yet. And people will be able to purchase it as well as an ebook from Amazon, Indie Planet, Drive-Thru Comics, which is a little cheaper. But some people just like to read comics, electronically. So you will have both options available, and of course the publisher ships globally too, and they will have the book, I think, as a physical copy, available in over 150 stores in places like Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, California. As far as I know, and Diamond is not involved in the distribution, by the way.
Okay, nice.
Mhm.
So there you go, people. You can get this book digitally or you can get it physically. Um, so yeah, what are your plans after this book releases?
I will continue promoting it. I will continue making more videos on my YouTube channel, KP Art, the logo of which you see it here on the screen too. And I will continue to interact with creators, to make appearances. Oh my God, I don't believe this. I think this guy uses the Google to make questions in Greek to me, but with Latin characters. That's where I am from Greece right now. I am from the city of Thessaloniki, the second most known after Athens. Yeah, yeah. Thank and I will continue creating more books. Hopefully, it will go well enough for the series to continue and to be given the chance to show what will happen with these characters. And right now, I'm working on the fourth book. I have completed the first three.
He says he lived there. His wife is from there. His son was born there.
But he's from America.
Ah, that's a great question.
Ah, well, yeah,
So I guess he knows the lingo.
yeah, maybe.
His wife is Greek.
Okay, so maybe he's not. So it's like he gets to see how Greece is, especially currently. Yeah.
There you go. You'd be amazed who you run into on the interwebs.
Yeah, yeah. It's all right. It's nice for a change. Yeah. Nice to have you here.
Yeah. So how's apart from your comic book life, how's everything else going for you?
Oh well, I have the chance from time to time to travel in different countries with my partner here, with my beautiful girl who is an Estonian. That's why I have moved in Estonia, basically. And for the time being, at least, we live here. Maybe at some point we would like to move further. We will see. And make new friendships, have people here interested in what I do in my book too. And I will go for the second time to join my city's Comic Con as a creator. Uh, it has become big enough to host creators from Europe and America. Last year we had Frank Miller, for example. And I think, and of course, Athens has Comic Cons, and this December, Athens Con, as it is called, will take place. And I don't think you have heard this or anybody else, but Mark Wade is the main guest there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and with what takes place currently, I don't know if he's gonna make it, but they asked if I would like to go, and I said better not. I mean, I really couldn't anyway, but even if I had the option, maybe I wouldn't choose to do so. But yeah, anyway, so I just try to get as many opportunities as I can to show my work everywhere, meet other creators, you know. And the life so far is alright, it's good, yeah. I'm 27 years old, and as I keep growing, more things come on my way.
You said
Hopefully
you're
good.
27?
Yes.
Wow. That's nice. You got the whole life ahead of you still.
Yeah, yeah, well.
Wow. That's good though, man. You even though you're fairly young, I won't say you're completely young, but even though you're fairly young, at least you have a you're making your dreams come true and you're working towards them. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, uh, I try to think like that, especially when things appear to not go as I would like them from time to time. So yeah, I still have time. You know, I'm not too late in the game.
No.
Yeah, I'm not in my 30s yet. So yeah.
No, that's good. That's good, man. Shoot, I didn't realize you were that young. It's either you're that young or I'm that old, one of the two. But
It's never too late, as they say. It's never.
no, it's never too late, man, to follow your dreams. Definitely, man. You just gotta keep moving forward. As long as you're breathing, you have a chance in life. Yeah.
Exactly.
So have you been catching up on anything else? Have you met any other artists within the community,
Yeah, well,
collaborating or thinking about collaborating with anybody? I mean, I know you have a contract with Rising Sun Comics first, but
yeah. hmm well, I mean, technically collaborations I couldn't form due to the contract. But even if I didn't have the contract, I think I would like to do the whole project anyway on my own, to continue it on my own. I mean, you will see here even other creators, even some of the veterans at least saying the same thing, because even if we like the whole brotherhood, the unity thing that the situation carries with it, the comics gate and all that, and still people have their own personal visions, and maybe especially creators, they tend to become a little possessive of their work, and they want to take care of it as their, especially when it comes to their own brain children. Oh, I thank you, Linda Wesley, in the chat for your nice words. I appreciate it. I see there. Uh, and uh, yeah, uh, well, I have talked so far to creators, to young creators, and from the veterans to Ben Hennessy, Dr. Appel, and to Ethan Vaskaiver just a few hours ago, and to others who were there too, to Larry Higgins, creator of Nairobi Comic. There are so many, I cannot even fit them in one sentence. So that's why I have this post on the wall of my art Facebook page, where you can see all those creators' links. It's the link
yes.
I can do to advertise them. I have even you there, of course, and Jimmy. I have included you there. You help people with your channel. You're an aspiring creator. I like your stuff. I see really um, good elements are appearing in your latest artwork, especially. You get it really well done. So just keep it up. The key to all of us, either veterans or new emerging creators, is to keep practicing. This doesn't change for anyone. You know.
Definitely, definitely. That's all I do. Practice every day. I draw something, whatever it is. I always draw something every day. Yeah. Speaking of drawing something every day, I think we talked about it last time, but we have a different audience this time around. So, who inspired you? What artist inspired your work, or what artist inspired you to draw?
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I had a Greek interview lately for a magazine, so they sent me the questions and I answered them, and one of them was about which creators. And man, I was keep writing and writing, and I still wasn't done. There are that many, and the thing is, you can learn from a creator even if his style is totally different from yours, and you will never follow his style. It can be even Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield, you know. But I still learn things from this guy, even if my style is completely different from his. So I can tell you in a very general statement, for a start, that I learn from everybody. Yet at the same time, I can mention some whose style I have embraced a little more. Of course, it's many like comics gave here creators like Mike S. Miller, Ethan Vaskiver, this semi-realistic, semi-cartoon style, basically. But it's all the other creators too, of course. And I like Brian Boland. I like Dale Keown when it comes to American creators. And I can tell you about later my influences for the story, you know. And of course, there are, creators from Europe who I like Enki Bilal and Moebius, known also as Zanzibar. And he's not with us anymore, but yeah, his story, their stories have been translated in English too. Most of them have been, I think, published through the Humanoids Associate or the Dark Horse Comics. So, I think I should mention the influences for my story because it's connected to this question that you made. So some of my influences for this story have been Mike Mignola's Hellboy, Dale Keown's The Pit, Sam Kidd's The Max, Enki Bilal's The Trilogy of Nikopol, the Moebius stories, of course, especially the science fiction ones with the philosophical depth, and of course the stories of Jack Kirby, like New Gods and Eternals, especially, and the Alan Moore's and Neil Gaiman's stories, because they're really skillful to negotiate with with philosophy, esotericism, religion in their stories, like Sandman, for example, from Vertigo, or Promethea, and all these great titles. Yeah, I learned a lot from all of those creators all these years, and it's mostly a self-taught process. But lately, especially with my editor's assistants, I get it a little more like homeschooling, and he's a really patient man, my editor. His name is Hawk Sanders, and he knows a lot. And whenever we talk through Skype about the books, he also shows me stuff from time to time. So it's like I have my own private Kuber, uh, homeschool process taking place.
No, it's always good when the editor takes interest in your work and wants to see your progress. It gives you a good sense, that you're in a good place.
Yeah. He believes that my he likes my style. He has seen a big improvement just in 4 books, and he likes the story. He, there was a touching moment. There was a day I was feeling kind of down because creators usually have these doubt moments, even the veterans do maybe. And I asked him, you know what? How come you decided to give a chance to my book? And he said, because we see this potential, this passion, we like what you have here, and let me make this clear. Uh, Me and the rest of the team in the publishing house, I mean, they all expressed the same. They all saw the same stuff, and they all took the same decision. And we have faith in you, he told me. And I just it was a very touching moment for me, because when people that don't haven't met you in the physical from so many miles away can see stuff just from your work because they don't know you, and then they tell you something so meaningful, because to me it's really meaningful what he stated right there. I don't want to disappoint these people. I don't want to disappoint myself, and I want to continue doing my best.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think someone said it the other day on one of the streams that art artists are they have a lot of self-doubt. You know, that they draw well, but sometimes they just don't feel like the drawing is coming out well. And I think that
Yeah,
has to do with the fact that you know how you draw, and if something doesn't feel right to you, to someone else it might look, you know, superb, but in your eye you're like, nah man, that's not right. That's not right. But you know, it's just the way it's the way this business is, you know. It'll definitely mess with your self-confidence every once in a while.
yeah, and I can see maybe stuff that I did a few months ago. I don't like them that much. And thank you, Linda Wesley, again for your nice comment. I will keep faith. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a tough business. I'm not gonna lie. Definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not published like you are, so I'm not a professional yet, but I'm working my way up there. One of these days it'll happen. I'm taking my time about it. And we kind of discussed my story last time off the air, so you already kind of know what I'm going for.
Oh, yeah, I do. And it sounds really good if you ask me.
Yeah. So I shared it with a couple other people, and they say the same thing. So we'll see. My timetable is 2 years, which is basically about a year and 8 months now before I
Yeah.
start thinking about pushing it out. That'll give me plenty of time to practice my drawing. I'm gonna have to get a colorist, and I probably have to get a writer. So that'll give me time to get myself together for those two things. But you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So for those people that who might be listening that are wanting to get into the business, do you have any tips or
Oh, yeah.
any advice?
Thank you for this question. Yeah. Because if there are any new creators here right now, or if new creators see this interview later at some point, listen, I am in my beginning stage, my first official steps in the industry. It's not like I know everything already. No, I'm just, but I think there are some key steps that people should take for, every uh, aspiring goal of theirs. So in this case as well, the key is to be persistent, to not give up, to not quit, and to work hard and honestly, not at the expense of others. Be open to listen, to learn, and something will happen, something good will come your way, and more things will start following as well. In my case, I was submitting my work for a year pretty much to many publishers throughout the USA and England, Scotland, New Zealand, Ireland, and some in some cases I didn't get any answers because they were too busy. So if they are not interested, they're not going to send a message. Others did answer it, say kindly no, and there were many though that sent me a positive answer. Some of them took the time, something that really touched me, and they wrote long text where basically they say we like your stuff, yet we have are we already occupied by titles, or we have our own universe building, or we have some financial issues and we can't take the chance to have a new title, you know, and then the few last ones that I approached, they were already positive to that. But Rising Sun was the fastest to respond, and so we had our first conversations, and around April of this year, I signed my contract with them. And yeah, that was something that I wanted for a year. I had my ups and downs, but the important thing is to have people also next to you. Like I have my partner and both our families to support you, to believe a little in you. That can be really helpful too. You know that there are other people that can see even a small part of the potential that maybe you see in yourself. So you won't give up, and you will continue till you succeed. And right now, I have fulfilled some of my goals, but of course, I have much more to do, and I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. Yeah, finding a good support structure is definitely important in anything you do in life, you know. So I'm glad that you were able to find that.
Thank you. And of course, one more thing I would like to mention. We have both veterans and new emerging creators to remain humble, to be a good example for others, for younger ones, not only in the creative sense, but also in the social sense, in the way we behave and interact with people. Because I have seen creators, not only in America, in many other places, and Greece included, there are a few whose work are really is really beautiful, is excellent, but they they have a snobbish behavior towards people. It's like you see them, you go with excitement with a print of their work, for example, to sign, and they have a facial expression like they can't wait to get rid of you, or they are like too big to interact with you. It's like, why do you do that with people that basically have helped you to reach that level where you can make a living out of what you love doing as a job? Don't you realize the simple equation here? It's like, and for me, these people are the half the artists. Basically, if you haven't learned how to interact with people and show them every day, no matter how many years pass, no matter how big name, how much of a big name you have managed to make of yourself. If you don't remain humble, if you don't show your appreciation and gratitude to people, this will backfire to you, and you may be on the top one day, and thanks to your behavior and the people's power, as customers, you will reach bottom before you even know it.
That's very important. I'm glad you mentioned that. Humility in any profession go a long way.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not just on being an artist, but any profession that you show humility. It shows that that you appreciate what you have and you're willing to take that extra step for it. Um, kind of a kind of a very important life lesson there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life can be, if you pay attention, can be the most important teacher you will ever meet. And it will show you in the form of incidents and people if you do things right or not. Yeah.
Indeed. So, um, I think I ran out of questions. You have
Oh
anything
my!
else? Huh?
It's just half an hour
I
already.
know. No. We can stretch it out. We can stretch it out. Do you have anything weighing on your mind or anything in your heart that you want to discuss about?
Mhm. Ah, let's see. I don't know. Like, okay, you know what? Maybe if some people here they would like to make some questions, maybe.
Yeah, that. Oh, definitely. The chat is open for questions if y'all want to ask KP anything. So let me ask you something, KP. What do you
Yeah.
do for art supplies? You order online? What kind of art supplies do you have in Europe?
All right. These art supplies, especially when you order from the internet, are available pretty much everywhere. In my case, it's rapidographs, it's ink and brushes, it's color pencils, pastels, all the things I work with since my days in the School of Fine Arts. Because I did for 5 years. I graduated from the university there. I think you call it college, right?
Yeah, college. Yes.
Yeah. No, in my case, the school you don't pay for that. It's like more public, like
Oh,
uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, but it's considered an important school there, and around the world when people hear it. That's what I have been told at least. Anyway, and I had the opportunity to have live anatomy lessons through models. Men and women nudity.
Right. Figure
And
drawings.
yeah, and of course I was in the morgue too. That yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Naples said something about that. He said when he went to school, he studied dead bodies as well. I think he worked in a morgue or something to get to study the human anatomy and the musculature and all that good stuff. I don't think I would be that serious about my artwork where I would go to a morgue, but you never know.
Yeah, yeah. I did architecture design for 1 year before I prepare myself for the university. So every little thing helps and contributes to the whole creative journey. And If to me drawing is like also a form of a therapy, I do it most of the time just because it makes me feel good. I started expressing this desire since I was 3 years old. And, since then I have kept up to it because I don't know, it's just. It has helped me a lot when we had my during my dark moments, my lonely moments, and of course it's a nice way to attract women. Truth be told, they say, "Oh, come on, draw me." Yeah, of course, I'll draw you, and maybe you would like us to meet again to make a better portrait of you next time or something.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah, and of
Pimping the
course,
artwork.
yeah. Did you have seen the movie Titanic? Where Leonardo DiCaprio draws the female protagonist. I don't
Rose.
remember. Yeah, I did the same with my partner here, so it was meaningful. It was nice. It was funny too. We had a laugh. Yeah, but yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
Well, don't go don't go on a cruise ship with her, man. You might not get room on that door. You know, it's kind of a joke. Like there was room on that door for both of them. But anyway, is it so? What? How do you color? What are you using for coloring? Copic markers, pencil. You said you something about color pencils.
On my comic or in general.
In your comic or in general?
Oh well, in my comic I use mostly color pencils, and I do some electronic process with the limited software knowledge that I have. But but I start learning a little more about Photoshop, and my editor will see to that too. But mostly I like working by hand. It's like I feel this even closer, this connection between me and my artwork. I like this, no matter if it's considered old-fashioned or not. I like doing mostly things by hand. That's how I like it, for so
No,
far, for the
there's
time
nothing
being.
wrong with that.
Yeah, yeah, and for my work I use different materials. Yeah, and uh, my artwork is mostly comic book related, but can be also fantasy related, science fiction, sorcery. It can be also. I have made portraits of people with as their favorite superheroes. I take in commissions. I have received before, and I sent through traditional, post process, to other countries. So if people are interested in the commissions, they can certainly reach out. Oh, by the way, we have a question here from Winston Smith. Um, can you see it?
Yeah, he's asking about political parties and the government in Greece.
Yeah. Well, I don't. You know what? I will try to balance this out with your permission. Like, I don't want to go without to not answer his question, and yet I want to keep a nice atmosphere here. So I will just make a small comment here. Okay.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
all right. So it's like. I'll tell you that the Greek governments, for the most part, are not, they are not the best they could be, especially the current one. And of course, Macedonia, even historically, is proven to be Greek. I think there are other factors behind the scenes that like to create turbulences among people as a distractions from really significant stuff. So just keep your eyes and ears open. Don't trust so much TV. Make your own research and have try to be a good example for the people around you. A helpful, a good example. That's what I'm gonna say here.
I like that answer. I like that answer.
Yeah,
So you do everything traditional. You
yeah,
use color pencils on your books. Your book comes out on the 14th.
yeah. The
It's a
first.
12 series book.
Mm-hmm. 12.
And so far,
Yeah.
yeah. And so far, you've got the first four done.
No, I have done the three first, and the fourth one I'm continuing the inking of the pages.
Nice. And these are what? How many pages per book?
28 without the ads.
28 without the ads. Oh, speaking of which, um, they said they had given you freedom to put your own people in the ads or something like that.
Oh yeah, look, I learned through my contract that I have the right to three ads, which means I can advertise whatever I want in my series through these three ads. The company has its own three ads as well. So basically, there will be six ads there, and in the ebook version too. So I was told by my editor, you can invite also your comic brigade friends if they want to advertise their books, you know, and you can also ask in exchange a small fee if you want. So I made this offer right after, and some people responded, liked it, shared it. Dr. Apple did, Martina Marcotta too, from Lady Alchemy,
Hmm.
and I had like a couple responses, like that they were interested. One person of them, just had a tragedy around those days that I didn't know of, and so he couldn't do anything. The other guy, and I will say it because people will see it in the book. He's a really positive guy. Maybe, I think you have interviewed him. Is Jake Campbell, the SMR artist, creator of the Indiegogo book, The Bull.
Yes.
So I have his ad there, and I will continue having it for the next books too.
Nice.
Yeah, and the other two ads I use for myself right now. But if there will be one more creator out there who will be interested, I can have him in the next books. I just ask in next stage either a small, very affordable fee, or as I asked from Jake, to make a few super chats to big streams like Ethan's to get the
Right.
word out for my book because the app is not available where I live, not even in Greece, not even in Estonia. Otherwise, I would have done this by myself,
Yeah.
So he helps me in this way. I help him as well, and we are all satisfied. So he
That's
says he
good.
yeah, so he says he will do it closer to the date of release. And I tell him, the cheapest you can. It doesn't matter. Ethan reads everything. So just from the world, it will be an additional boost, like it was today's stream with Ethan. Everything little helps, along with my own endeavors. So yeah, if there is any one creator out there for the next push who would like his book advertised, uh, let me know and we will see how we can deal with this. Yeah.
So y'all heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. For the next book, if you're having a book coming out, or you have a business or whatever, and you want to have it advertised in Rising Sun Comics, specifically Stilk and Metal Tim, get with KP. All his social media links are in the description, and
Yeah.
including the including the website for Rising Sun Comics. So there you have that.
Can I say a few things about the publisher?
Yeah, knock yourself out. This is your hour, man.
Yeah. Whenever I have the chance, I would like to advertise them too because I like their stuff. People have seen, in the streams, they have gone to check their stuff and they like what they see. And I want to advertise them, because they have given a home to my book and I want to support them. I love them. I like their works. So Rising Sun Comics. Right? It started basically in 2008 from a man called Zamar Miller. This man has this fun project, this passion project of his that included non-licensed Hasbro properties, especially G.I. Joe, and he created this interconnected universe of all those properties, which he called the Millerverse. So initially, he was showing these works in collaboration with other creators, basically fan comics, through a site that is still around and it is called Blood for the Baron. Later, he formed this company just to publish these stories in form of books. Okay, and later he decided to pursue other endeavors. So he approached the current editor, Hawk Sanders, and asked him, "Are you interested to take this over?" And he said yes. And since 2012, it has become an actual publisher with creator-owned properties, meaning that the team has its own books through the Rising Sun Comics US uh, imprint. And of course, there are a few other imprints too. Um, uh, for the US imprint is PG-13 titles like Armadillo Justice, and Collapse at the Hierarchy, like superhero adventures, mostly really well made. and Black Lotus. The other imprint through which my book will be published is called Rising Sun Comics Public Studios, where people that have their own personal studio or label, they can have their book published through Rising Sun, through this imprint, or even if they don't have a label like I don't, they can have it. It's like US adult stories or with adult themes, a little more mature, so these books will be published through this imprint. Then we have the New Zealand imprint, the Rising Sun Oceania, with its partner studio Plunge Studios, where mostly teen plus stories are published, but maybe other genres will be published from there too. And we also have Rising Sun Comics Japan that is inactive at the moment, but if there is any creator who has a manga illustrated story and he would like to see it published, it will be published through this imprint. And there is also the non-profit division where all these non-licensed properties are still ongoing, are still being published, and the company doesn't make any profit from it. It's like you order your fan-based, non-licensed GI Joe stories. You pay for the order, the money are used for the transfer expenses, and if there is anything left, it goes to the volunteer creators who just basically work for free, or if they want to see how it is to work for a publisher, it's a nice opportunity for them to try their skills, you know. So that's the story of Rising Sun Comics, basically.
So Winston Smith just asked for your YouTube channel, so I just went ahead and pasted the
Yeah,
link in the chat. That
yeah,
should take you straight to KP Art,
yeah.
and that is his YouTube channel.
Yeah. And I'll continue making videos. I saw myself in speed version drawing panels of my current of the fourth book of the series, or I can take requests or commissions and have them drawn like in video as well for people to see. I talk about stuff as well, so I just try to make it honest and interesting, and genuine uh, content. Uh, and yeah, hopefully more people will join in. Uh,
Yeah, the thing that I find is sometimes they just watch the replays, like because like what happens with us, our time difference is so big that when I'm live drawing, you're asleep. When you're live drawing, I'm probably either at work or asleep. But
I see the replays. That's why they are there.
yeah,
And I want to thank Winston Smith for subscribing. He just did, so thank you.
there you go. See, that's how you get build your platform one subscriber at a time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm
Every
grateful. Yeah,
every subscribe. Hey, trust me, I know. Every time I get a subscriber, I get excited. I get very happy. you know. But I also understand that when they sub, now I gotta, try to create better content, or continue to create content, to make it worth their time for subbing. So doing these interviews is awesome. I always like doing interviews, doing some live drawings. Now lately I've been doing it on digital because I'm having a difficult time with my camera setup. So once I figured that whole issue out with the camera setup, I'll do traditional again. It's just easier to do digital when I'm streaming because it's easier to share the screen on the digital tablet than it is to get that camera focused on the paperwork right now. So, but
yeah,
eventually I'll get it figured out because I need to.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
because digital drawing for me is I'm not that's not my thing. I have it, and I don't mind using it, but usually I use it to fix something that I busted up. Scan it up and then fix it digitally. But yeah, and maybe one of these days we can get you and Josh together. We could do one drawing stream at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I hope my camera, it will be in a time I can I can use my camera on the PC because right now that
Right.
would be really difficult right now. But yeah, you know what? Since you give me the chance here, I'd like to, just for fun, I would like to explain my name here because some
Yeah, knock
people have
yourself out.
Yeah, some people have a hard time pronouncing it, which is not that difficult. I mean, imagine if I would be from Saudi Arabia or India. They have even more ways for that. Yeah. Yeah, so my name is pronounced Konstantinos Petrocheilos, or as I have heard foreign speakers pronounce it, Pet, Petrocheilos. It's basically the last name. If you translate it in English, it could be translated as stone lip. I know it's weird, but that's how it would be translated. Yeah, the last name. And Konstantinos basically is related to the word constant, okay? But it also means stable. It basically means both consistency and stability.
Right.
Yeah.
I
So,
have my Raven trolls. At least one of the Raven trolls has joined the chat. Call them the Raven trolls because I don't know if you've been in some of the other streams, but there's two factions apparently. There's the Starfire faction, and then there's the Raven faction, and they go back and forth on the chats. And so Mr. Joshua Hughes is one of the what I call one of the Raven trolls. So I did a
mm,
small Raven piece today and posted it on Twitter so they could, calm their heels a little bit.
yeah. Both characters are really interesting to me. Uh, yeah, I don't see why we should have.
Oh, but see, now that you said that, they're gonna ask you. I'm sure it's coming. Who do you prefer, Starfire or Raven?
hmm. I think all those characters were built in such a way that they both have interesting origins. But well, I don't know. It depends which version you follow as well. I suppose. I don't know. I think I would like a little more Raven because she faces the challenge of this inner conflict because of her demonic heritage and all that. So it's interesting to see how she deals with that. And yeah, but it's not. Of course, I like both characters. Starfire can be like, and can give a lighter tone to the whole story, and yet she still has her own challenges and drama going on. And yeah, but I think I have. I think I am interested more into darker characters because maybe as human beings we tend to be more dramatic. We find it easier, yet at the same time we want to see how those characters with the darkest background, how they can actually go beyond, rise above those challenges, and maybe be happy at some point. So it's interesting to watch the journey in those stories.
He knows the truth. Raven is a better character. You have just won yourself a fan.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Joshua Hughes. Yeah.
Joshua says, "Don't call him a Raven troll. He's just Team Raven and the cult of Raven, which is greater than Starfire." He corrected his spelling. That's cool. We kind of figured out what it was, I think. But Josh is cool, man. He always comes on my streams and supports. So I appreciate him. And I will draw him another Raven piece. Uh,
Uh,
whenever maybe Josh, I might just draw one on traditional artwork on one of these streams just for you. Never know. We'll see what happens. Have to tune in or continue to tune in. That is. Yeah. Yeah, but it's been interesting, like you said, I think when you first interviewed with me, I had like what, like 10, 15 subs, something like that.
no, you have 26.
26. Oh wow. And I'm up to 83, I think, or 84.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy, and I'll grow and then I'll stagnate and then I'll grow a little bit and then I'll stagnate again. Um Yeah. Hey, Joshua, and I'll be on Titan Thursday, on Pope Fire's channel.
Mm.
So I got to do some studying up, and of course, the topic is Raven, so you might have to get me up to speed. Hit me on the Twitter with all the 411 so I can sound somewhat informed. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so Rising Sun Comics, you know, um, Konstantinos. I can say Konstantinos. This is the
Yeah,
other one that throws me off.
I know. How everybody. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna call him KP. You know,
Fine, fine. Keep it.
And it's funny, right? Because I was in the army, and KP meant that you was on kitchen duty,
I
which
was.
mean- which means you were peeling potatoes. So every time anyone said you're on KP duty, that means you had to go peel potatoes. So,
Okay, you know what's the irony here? I went to the army too. It's a mandatory service in Greece.
right.
So there was a period of time that I was basically in the kitchen, helping out, washing, cleaning, and yeah, this is not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true, and I think most European countries make you do at least 2 years mandatory service.
I don't know. Like for Greece and Estonia, I know it's 9 months. I did 8 because we have a law in Greece that the firstborn is usually doing a month less. So my
Mhm.
brother that's gonna join soon, in the next year, he's gonna have 9 months service.
Okay. nine
Yeah.
months is nothing, man. Shoot, 9 months, that's nothing. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
almost basic training and advanced individual training for us. I mean, by the time 9 months are up, you barely just a soldier.
Yeah. Well, and personally, when it's mandatory and you would wish to be somewhere else, I think 9 months can feel really enough. But yeah, you know what? I met nice people there. I met people that they inspire you with their own virtues. They teach you stuff,
Right.
and they even ordered artwork from me, and I did artwork for them, and they have it there, hung up on their walls now.
Yeah. Winston says his son cannot go back to Greece when he turns 18. He's like, nope, he'll get drafted.
Yeah, yeah. Eh,
Yeah. But I've seen that happen before where people that are from like from other countries, they go back and serve their mandatory time and then come back to the US.
yeah, you can do that, or as I have seen in the card in the military tribunals, you can deal with it for your whole life, till you somehow sort this out. They will go after you if you don't, you know, deal with that early.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, it is what it is. You know, that's why I think I like this system where you just volunteer. But um, seeing how things have been going lately, I'm almost feeling like we should make everybody just join for 2 years.
Oh, uh,
Okay.
okay. No, no, I just read something there in the comment section for this subject.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 years, you said. Yeah. Oh my God, to me it sounds a lot indeed. But you know what? Especially with what's going on in the USA, it's like veterans for some time now, they are not appreciated enough, and you have many of them being in need of care. And it's like, why? These people have done so many things. They have gone through the Vietnam warfare too, which for many of them, left them with a post-traumatic
hmm.
experience. It's like, yeah, I mean, these are your people.
Yeah. So Winston says they'll count other countries' service if you have a dual citizenship. I don't know, but I'm gonna take your word for it. I just went ahead and joined the army and did my time, called it a day.
Yeah, yeah.
I did it. I did it, and then I got it out the way. Yeah, I can't complain. It was an interesting experience, So we did what we have to do. I said you must sing the praises of Raven profile. We'll probably spend the whole episode trashing Raven fans. I don't think so. I don't think so. She'll probably deflect a lot. It's interesting because she chose me because I don't watch Titans, Teen Titans, or know anything about any of the characters, and she wanted a clueless person on there. I guess I'm just the comic relief. Who knows? But I'll be there because I promised, and promise is a promise.
Yeah, have you read any comics like throughout your lifetime? Have you been fan of any specific titles?
I don't. I never. The only. So I usually don't. I don't read anything DC. I've never really read anything DC. The only DC comic I ever read was Sergeant Rock. A lot of people don't know what Sergeant Rock is
I
because
know.
it's an old comic. I
Yeah.
mostly read Marvel comics. Power Man and Iron Fist. Spider Man, Daredevil, Conan,
Hmm.
Red Sonja, Wolverine. Mostly Wolverine. Some X Men, but mostly Wolverine. Punisher. Those were my guys. That's what I used to read.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about anything DC or any DC lore. I don't know much about Batman other than what I've seen in the movies. I don't know much about Superman other than what I've seen in the movies. I
Mm.
have no earthly clue about anything Teen Titan ever.
Yeah, and of course for other publishers out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've read some indie stuff too. But I didn't really read that much of the Image stuff. I really didn't get caught up in that hype with Image, but I know they got some good stuff out there. I did like Spawn. I just didn't read a lot of the Spawn books.
Yeah.
Um, just a little bit here and there. I like the character as a whole, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. It's interesting because yeah, no, this character made a huge impact. Maybe it was the fact that the Photoshop was starting being in use right in early 90s. Maybe it was a good synchronicity. Maybe it was the art style and the whole image revolutionary thing. And many things contributed to that. And yeah, these books had lots of cyberpunk elements, violence, and it wasn't like this Marvel. It was a little more than that. So they that always contributed. And Spawn, yeah, it's an interesting character. I think I don't know. So personally, I think it has lasted for so long. It would have ended years before it would still remain a really good book. But if they want to do it like Batman, continue for decades or something. I don't know. Um, and there were for a period of time I was watching all these mystic or cursed characters in comics, not only from the big two. And it's interesting to see which characters last longer and which are not, while maybe some of them don't have many differences with each other when it comes to the plot. So it's interesting to observe what other key elements, play a significant role in order to make a title more established than another.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's that Spider Man's been going on forever.
And, yeah.
And Batman, and of course Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. It's like you got a staple of characters that just are endless, timeless, I guess. And every so often they'll reboot them. It's like they'll start a new story arc or a new storyline or whatever. Yeah, but like for like most people, when I was a teenager, when I was a kid, I started out with Spider Man because Spider Man was a kid. Like I was a kid. And I kind of when as I developed and grew older and whatnot, I gravitated towards other characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So and that that's kind of like a trajectory that happens. I think everybody kind of does that, but like I said, I never really read DC. I never really, I have never even looked at a Teen Titan comic book. Like
Yeah.
not even in the comic shop. Like if I know there's the DC rack and there's and I don't even look that way. I don't look at, and it's funny because DC is actually doing a better job on their stories than Marvel is today. So you would figure that I would gravitate to DC, but I just haven't for some reason.
I think really cool books, especially before 2012, is was the Vertigo line. The imprint of DC. And after that, things kind of started changing. I think books from the 80s till 2007 or 9 from this, you will find lots of great titles. And in Marvel too. And, later things changed. But, what fascinated me since I started discovering comics even more is like there is a huge variety and amount of stories out there. So many universes, so many characters, so many people passionate who give a little of their time and their skills and their money and to say all these great stories, And when I started discovering the defunct American publishers, I just, nobody remembers of those old books or even knows them. And when I find them in the store, I bury it in dust under more mainstream titles. I say, okay, this little ripped book here it waits for me to to gather it because I see great stuff in there.
Right.
And yet it's cheap, of course, very cheap. But it's a pity that nobody remembers it because I think someone like me did this, and now maybe nobody even remembers him, and that we don't know where he is. I can find actually any of them in the internet. Some of those creators. I search for them and I can't find anything, but only maybe a reference if I'm lucky.
Right.
And yeah, and, that's kind of like a small death right there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, staying relevant is hard, man. Just like any business, to stay on the top, to get to the top and stay on the top, just requires an extraordinary amount of hard work. Getting to the top requires hard work, and then staying at the top or in that area is requires even more work, harder work. Because you got the younger, faster, stronger, whatever you want to call it. The young generation is always nipping at your heels to take over where you're at. You know.
Yeah. But if you still have something really promising, it will shine no
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, you got to continue to work. You
Yeah.
just
Of course.
you just can't lay back and say, okay, I'm KP and I did this book, so when everything I do is gold automatically. You still have to put passion and you still got to put drive, and like you said, you have to remain humble and
Yeah.
and do all those things if you want to continue to stay in that arena. So
Yeah.
I think that's what happens with some people. They get there, they get complacent, and then they fall off and they can never get back up.
No, you have to prove yourself all the time and reach out to people, make connections, and never quit, and keep practicing. This will keep you there in the game. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Yep. Does anybody in the chat have any questions for KP? Any more questions?
No.
And if not, I think I'm gonna let the young man go to sleep because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for him.
Right now it's after 4.
Okay, even worse. So it's thanks a lot, KP, man. You made me feel worse. I hope you don't have to go to work tomorrow or like in a few hours.
No, don't worry, I'm all right. And please don't apologize. I want to be up for interviews with nice people like you. I enjoy this a lot. It's an opportunity. It's a true joy. Really, don't trouble yourself with that at all.
All right. No,
Yeah,
it's just like, it's just difficult with this. It's great. The internet has made the world smaller. Because you can talk to anybody at any time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you can have a live stream like this where you can have two people from in two different countries, um, that can talk real time with a whole bunch of other people from other places at the same time they're listening to it. It's pretty amazing. But I'd still feel like, oh my gosh, I got this guy up 4 o'clock in the morning, you know. But it's part of that drive, like you said, it's part of that passion and part of that humility to go and promote your book at every corner that shouting it from every corner, which it's important that the customer wants to know or wants to see that kind of effort, that kind of commitment, and that kind of passion for the project. If they see it from the creator, it definitely translates to the consumer, and it makes them more eager to see what you're selling.
yes, yes. Of course. I mean, social media like YouTube allows you to give to the people behind the scenes process. It brings you closer to them, and the whole comics game thing as well. It has brought creators closer to the people. Before that, they were like celebrities, and you had to reach them only through comic cons. And maybe if you were lucky, you would exchange a few words. Right now, things kind of turn in a different direction, and I think if we handle it right, it can work for the best. Work out
Right.
for the. Mhm.
Well, KP, you have any last words for the audience?
Oh, thank you to all the people that were here, and to those who maybe will see the recorded version later. And I'm looking forward to more with Jimmy here, with others out there too. Follow me on my social media, or the ones Jimmy here provides in the description, and I'll be glad to have as many of you to see what I'm doing, to follow my work, hopefully support my future projects, my current one, and I will be glad to be of service to all of you.
All right. Argos Creations, I don't know what that is. Joined in late and gave us a Tumo lots of
Like,
nines.
whoop.
I have no earthly idea what that is, but Argos, thank you for joining. We appreciate. Hey, I'm sure that KP appreciates y'all. I definitely appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, for giving me that thumbs up, and for subscribing to the channels. Also, if you subscribe to KP's channel, he'll greatly appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that y'all take time out of your evening or your day, or whatever the case may be, in the whatever you're at, to come join us and listen to us talk about comics and creative processes and all that good stuff. Tomorrow, shameless plug, I'm gonna have Muttman, who is the creator of the Indiegogo book called Hero, Hiro. He'll be on at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if y'all can join us for that, I'll be greatly appreciated. His campaign launched today, as a matter of fact. And he was on one of my live streams, and he asked if he could come on. And just like, if you're a creator and you're listening to this live stream and you made it this far, I just want you to know that if you're an independent creator, if you're a comics gate creator or any kind of comic creator, artist, writer, or whatever, and you just want to talk about your process, want to talk about your book, want to talk about your project, just hit me up on any of my social media, and I'll be more than happy to have you on. And like I told KP, the only thing, I may not have that many subs, but you will get all the time you need to talk about your process or your creation or your book or whatever. It's uninterrupted. It's just you and me, laid back discussion. And I think it works best this way, if for people to get an idea of what your book is all about or whatever you're doing. So without further ado, again, thank everybody for joining me. I hope y'all have a blessed evening, and I will see you all next time.